Good day, people. This is ADEC Academy. This is ADEC Academy. My name is Sakunzi Peter. I am the president of the academy and the president of the organization. Today we are actually tackling. It's not a lecture. It's a presentation. It's a presentation that has been advertised for I think it was almost a month, whereby we actually advertised the post. The post is literally more about the kingship, about the monarchy. Even the poster itself is written. The title of the poster is literally called Monarchy Uploaded. Monarchy Uploaded. We are actually on our first chapter. On this presentation, which is actually conducted by ADEC Academy. ADEC Academy. It is an academy that specializes with philosophy. It specializes with economics. It specializes with management. It specializes with humanitarian and with many other different faculties. But we're focusing on this one, which is actually more about kingship, about the kings. Maybe somebody would ask, like, what's the reason? Why did we have to show interest on this topic, or perhaps why did we have to actually decide that we can take this, this exercise to actually present on, or perhaps talk about, about the kings, about the kingship and all of that. Well, I'm actually interested in actually finding out and also exposing, because the poster stated very clearly that it is God who set up kings, and it is Him who disposes them. So that is, I think that is in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 21. That is a Bible. It is where we find the origination of kings. A Bible, it is where we get to understand the origination of kings. There is no any other document. There is not any other sort of like a book whereby you can understand clearly about the evolution of the word king, even the kingship, the monarchy, the person that rules and control, the kingdom. So we literally actually show, there are so many things that are going to shock people, but obviously now we are on our first chapter. On this first chapter, like, we're going to reveal only the evolution first. This is our first chapter. Not gonna talk more. We're just only gonna focus on the definition of the word king and the evolution of kingship and the purpose. Why do we have kings? And we are actually going to look at the kings that are actually displayed on the poster, and then after that we are going to actually look at what is happening at the current moment in kingships. We are mainly going to focus in 3 different states, that is in South Africa, that is like most importantly on that side of the Tembus and XHOSAs, and also going to focus in other states of Africa, that is in Morocco. We're also going to focus also on the other side of the world, which is Britain, because we understand there is Mauritius, we understand that there is UAE, Arab Emirates, but we're only going to focus on those 3 different areas. Morocco, that is in Africa. In South Africa, we're going to focus on Tembus and XHOSAs and all of that, but we are going to focus more on XHOSAs. The reason why I also show interest in this topic is that I myself, I actually come from the clan that is actually, it's called the Jola clan. The Jola clan are the royal blood. The Jola clan are the royal blood. They are the kings. They are the sons of the soil. They have a piece of kingship in the monarchy. So we are also going to actually expose that because the topic states it very clearly that the special tribe, the dethronement of the special tribe, which is XHOSAs. I'm going to actually literally talk more and actually expose that side, why, what happened, what was the reason. Just stay put on these lectures. This is our first chapter. Is going to consist of about 15 chapters, whereby we're going to talk more about these topics, about these issues. So, well, first of all, the king or the kingship. The terms king and kingship are common biblical words, occurring over 2,500 times in the Old Testament and 275 times in the New Testament. The terms are literally applied not only to human rules but also to God. The concept of the kingship of God is regarded by many students or scholars as so basic to biblical revelation that it is viewed as an organizing theme for all scriptures. So I want us to look on the area of the definition, like in the Bible. In the Bible, what do they say about the? I want to understand the first 3 chapters as to what does it tells us about the actual kingship. So I'm busy looking at that the text now that will help us to understand, the principles of I want us to understand the principles of the explanation of the Bible about about the book of Samuel states that, okay, I want us to understand the Bible side version of what does it talk about kings. We read from the book of Samuel 187 using other translation, which is, I'm going to strictly stick on King James Version. And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. Remember that at this time, it is the time when the people of Israel, they actually said they want to be led by the person that they can go and complain to. So now Samuel is reporting this to God. He's telling God that, God, people are actually in need of king. So, and God is responding. God is responding that they are not rejecting you. They are not rejecting you as a leader. They are rejecting me as their creator. So if they reject me, they are actually rejecting me, not only to reject me as a leader, but even me to take control of them. So don't worry, I'll give them king. That is that time when actually God had to actually allow Saul to be elected as the king. So this is where we are actually getting a piece of a chapter. These are the words from God to actually Samuel, and this is a piece where we get to understand about kingship. This is the evolution. This is the first inception of kings, introduction of kingship in the Israelites. Now, let's look at the book of Dethronomy 33, verse 5. And he was king in Jeshurun. Okay. Okay, let's read that. And he was king in Jeshurun when the heads of the people and the tribes of Israel were gathered together. So who was that? The Lord became king in Israel when the leaders of the people assembled, when the tribes of Israel gathered as one. So we've got to understand that, this is actually that was actually the book of Dethronement. I'm reading these 3 chapters so that we can go together, because this is a very long study. I'm actually starting here on this point. This is our first point. This is our first chapter, to get to let people to understand the evolution of kingship in humanity. So I'm going to read the book of Exodus 15, that is chapter 15, verse 18. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. Meaning that those kings that are elected, they are not kings. They are temporal. But God is stating it clearly. The Bible states it clearly that the Lord shall reign forever and ever. Even that same Lord that is spoken of throughout this song, and to whom everything in it is ascribed, and who is no other than the Lord Jesus Christ. His reign began in eternity when he was set up and anointed as king over God's holy hill of Zion. His church, the elect, who a kingdom put under his care and charge, and which he will deliver up again one day, complete and perfect. He reigned throughout the whole Old Testament dispensation, and was acknowledged as well as prophesied as a king. In his state of humiliation, he had a kingdom. Now, I like this text because it's literally showing us that Jesus Christ, whom he happened to be introduced in the new chapter, in the New Testament, he was actually prophesied in the Older Testament that is going to be the king forever and ever. Now, you have heard the chapter, which is the first one, and you have heard the second chapter, which is the book of Deuteronomy. You have heard the chapter, the book of 1 Samuel 8, verse 7, where it says, "It appeared to him in a vision or dream, and by an articulate voice delivered to him what follows." So let's look at that. And the Lord said to Samuel, "Obey the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me from being the king over them." Now, I've mentioned that the ordination of king is mentioned 2,500 times in Old Testament and 275 in New Testament. And but in general, the words melech, or perhaps like a king, designate the person who holds supreme authority over a nation or city in the Old Testament. So the use of king and the kingship, however, is not limited to the occupants of the thrones, like, for example, in Samaria and in Jerusalem. Reference is also found to numerous foreign kings whose activities affected Israel in some way, but more important, there is a strong and conspicuous emphasis on the kingship of God. So this is actually showcasing that the king, the evolution even of the small word king, the evolution of kingship is from the Bible, meaning that when everything that happens in the king that has been elected, a king that has been selected, it has to do things according to the Bible. So everything that actually that king has to do, it has to actually abide by God. That is why in every kings that we read about in the Bible, the king had a prophecy, and the prophecy would communicate with God and convey to the king. When the king is undergoing a challenge, You will always we will pray, and after that go to the prophecy, and try to find out what is the future for my nation, for my kingdom, and all of that. So literally, it's important that when the king has been actually put in a throne, and after that, and has been actually assigned a certain task, that king has to understand that whatever that he does to his people, he does it to God, because the people that are actually his kingdom, they literally are actually people that have been given to him by God. So meaning that each and everything that that person or that king is actually using, or the exercise that king that is using, it has to be by God. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because 80% of the current trend on kings, we hear sort of a lot of stories. We hear sort of a lot of things that are happening. So the most important thing is that we need to actually understand that when those things happen, we must know what is happening. I am not actually here to actually articulate what kings are supposed to do. I am here to give an evolution of kingship, and to actually share the purpose of kings, and to actually share the exercises that the kings are supposed to perform. And also, if those exercises are not performed according to God's expectations, what happens after that? Because there will always be consequences to that king. You must remember. Let me take you back. Our topic is based on the poster that was uploaded, I think a month ago, whereby we stated very clearly that there is actually things that actually are supposed to be understood about kingship. This is our first chapter, and stay put. Be with us. It's presented by us, ADEC. ADEC is actually taking this study not to educate kings, not to educate kingdom, but only to actually expose the bigger secret about the early dethronement of the XHOSA tribe, the special tribe. Maybe the question might arise, why am I calling the XHOSA as the XHOSA tribe? They are a special tribe because they are the only tribe that is after Jewish tribe that actually taking, one of the practice, which is circumcision school. They take it as one of their ways of survival, because as a boy you have to go through circumcision school to become a man. Now, there are so many things that are happening in the XHOSA tribe. There are many things that are happening. First, there was an early dethronement of their king. Secondly, there are so many things that are happening in XHOSA tribe, meaning that they have actually rebelled against God's. They have rebelled against God's principles. So that actually needs attention. That needs everybody to pay attention, because it's one of the most important things that we need to expose, that we need to let people know and understand, because other people, they're trying to find out what is happening. Yes, it's last days events, many things are happening, but if you focus and put all the tribes that are local, I can mention all of them, but there is something that is so detrimentally disturbing, when it comes to the XHOSA tribe. First, the shocking part, that king that was ordained, during the king, if you look at all the kings that attended the inauguration of the king of XHOSAs in Gajane, that is Eliodale, in Eliodale, yes, in Gajane, out of all the kings that attended that inauguration, that ceremony, the king that passed on is the only king that actually was ordained on that time. Of course, that actually brings sort of shocking, shocking news, and not shocking news, but it's a bit shocking. So when you look at that, what is happening? Because when you look at that, it's not only that actually makes, a person to actually take a bigger interest as to what had happened. You also look at XHOSA people, which is like the tribe, the special tribe. What is happening? What are the things that are happening? So stay put, stay put. There's quite a lot that is coming. There's quite a lot of issues that will be actually discussed and shared, presented on the following chapters. Thank you, people. Thank you for your time. Like our videos, subscribe unto them, and give us feedback as to how do you feel about it. Thank you. Bye-bye.